Now to draw a room in 1-point perspective, we need to start by drawing a cross in the centre of the page. This is the vanishing point, the place where all the diagonal lines in the drawing should meet. Next, draw 4 diagonal lines to the corner of your piece of paper from this vanishing point, this cross. At this stage in the drawing, these lines are just guidelines, so they don't need to be exactly right, they just need to be sort of generally right. Now draw a horizontal line between the 2 bottom diagonal lines, and then draw 3 more lines, 2 vertical and another horizontal line, to make this into a rectangle. This rectangle will be the back wall of the room that we're drawing. Next, draw some evenly spaced marks on the bottom horizontal line, and then draw a series of diagonal lines that all start from the vanishing point. We can use these lines later to make a tiled floor of black and white squares in this 1-point perspective drawing. If you look at your drawing, the back wall of this room has like a cross with the vanishing point cross in the middle of it. We'll keep that because it's useful at this stage, but at a later stage we'll erase that. Now let's draw a door at the back of this wall. The door should be probably quite high and it just needs to be a rectangle. But the side of the door, we'll be able to see the side of the left-hand side of the door frame, the thickness of the wall as it were. And the top diagonal and the bottom diagonal of this thin thickness of wall will go towards the vanishing point because it's parallel with the left-hand side of the wall of the room as well. So we can find those 2 little short diagonal lines and make sure that they go towards the vanishing point. And then using what we've learnt about 1-point perspective, we can draw another little room beyond this room. Again, the wall, upright of the wall, will be vertical, and the horizontals will be horizontal, but the diagonal lines will again go towards the vanishing point. Now draw a series of small marks on the bottom left diagonal line that get closer together as they go towards the vanishing point. From each of these marks, draw a horizontal line across to the opposite diagonal line. This should create a grid pattern on the floor of the room, a grid pattern in 1-point perspective. You could draw these lines freehand or use a ruler, it doesn't really make any difference. Now, if we draw a horizontal line from the top of our door frame towards the right, when this line hits the vertical line that we've already got, change it into a diagonal line that goes away from the vanishing point. In this way we can work out exactly the height of the door on the right. If we're going to draw a new door on the right, it will be the same height in 1-point perspective as the door frame that we've already drawn on the back wall of this room. Make sure all the vertical lines stay vertical and parallel with the sides of your page. Parallel so they don't go nearer or further away to the sides of the page, but they keep the same distance. Next, we can draw the basic rectangle on the left hand wall, and we can make this into a window. The wall of the window should have a thickness to it. Make sure all the diagonal lines keep heading towards the vanishing point. We could also add a window to this back room too. We're seeing the windows straight on, so that would just be a rectangle. But the thickness of this window at the back would also, the diagonal lines of that would again go towards the vanishing point. Now if we go back to the first door frame that we drew, let's add an open door. In my drawing, the door frame is as wide as 2 of the squares on the floor. So it would make sense if I draw the bottom diagonal line of this open door, the length of 2 of the floor squares as they come towards us. Therefore I'd sort of know that if the door were to close, it would fit in the door frame. Now to draw a chair in 1-point perspective, draw a vertical line for the back of the chair on the back wall of this drawing, and then draw a diagonal line for the seat of the chair. Then we need a horizontal line for the back of the chair, and then another vertical line for the other side of the back. So we've got like an H shape for the back of the chair. And then we need another diagonal line for the other side of the seat. And then we need to draw 4 legs. And all of these legs need to be vertical, and they need to stop on the diagonal lines of the floor, at least for this drawing, because this drawing we've got the tiled square floor, so the chair legs can just sit on those Next, you could draw a table in the same way, basically a cube in 1-point perspective, with all the diagonal lines going to our vanishing point. It might be useful to think about the bottom of each of the pair of the legs for the table and also perhaps for the chair as each of the pair of the points on a diagonal line. So the bottom of 2 of the legs of the table or the chair are on the diagonal line, and that diagonal line goes to the vanishing point. That might help you see exactly where the base of the legs finish. Now the next steps in this drawing will be to tidy up a few of the lines, and then I'm going to go over all of the lines with a fine black pen, and I can straighten some of the lines, be a bit more careful with the lines that I'm drawing, because once they're in pen they've sort of got to stay the way they are. And then I'll darken the floor alternately, so it's like a checker floor of black and white squares. I think probably I'll add some tone. So to do that, I'll use a 4B and a 6B pencil. 4B and 6B pencils, they're very soft pencils which can go very dark. And to add some tone in this room, it's sort of your choice where you want to put the tone. But I imagine that if it's daytime, the light source, because I haven't drawn any lights within the room, the light source will be coming through the window. So I'll add some tone to the wall which has the window in it, and then maybe grade the tone towards the right so it gets lighter. The room gets lighter as it goes towards the right because the window on the left is illuminating the wall on the right. So to do that, to make the window look bright, I need to make the wall that the window's on dark, and then I might try and create, maybe with an eraser, a sense of the direction of the light coming through the room. So I hope this drawing tutorial has been useful for you. I've now done several drawings of how to draw in 1-point perspective, how to draw various rooms in 1-point perspective. And on my YouTube channel, Circle Line Art School, I have over 180 different videos that I've drawn, showing you many different ways of drawing many different things. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope that you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Circle Line Art School, to watch some of my other videos, and also so that you can discover my new videos which I post each week. Keep drawing, and thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.